Hey, Stevie Nunny here at High Octane Classics in Auburn, Massachusetts with the Beeper, the 1969 Plymouth Roadrunner. Second year for Roadrunner. Sales went from 44,598 in 68, the debut year, to over twice as many, 82,000 and change in 1969. Now keep in mind, 69 was the Motor Trend Car of the Year, the Plymouth Roadrunner, and all of these came with at least a 383. And that's what we have here. There it is, the 383 with 335 horsepower. But that was then. This now has a set of headers on it, an Edelbrock, or sorry, Hawley 4-barrel. So we're probably looking at another 20 or 30 horsepower thanks to those exhaust headers alone. It does have power steering. That's something you do want because that's, about 620 pounds of big block V8 on top of the front tires. So a 3-point turn in traffic or, against the curb is not going to be much fun. So that's cool, power steering. Manual drum brakes on this. We'll get to those more in a second. Again, sometimes, less is more when it comes to a Roadrunner. These, again, were Plymouth's budget supercar, not junior supercar, but budget supercar. These were priced at around $3,000, $3,100. And the idea was that a kid in high school could almost afford to buy one of these. In fact, they could. Now, the one thing about the Roadrunner that's cool is the beep, beep horn, the voice of the Roadrunner. Notice it has a very unique mount, very thin metal here, which kind of allows it to hover and resonate, which is part of the whole tone that it makes. No trumpet on that. It's a very unique horn, but here's the thing. It actually is a Spartan Jeep horn from, again, Jeep applications. So that's the secret of the beep beep horn. Now this does have the N96 cold air. Here it is here, the Coyote Duster, underneath the steel lid. You can see it right there. There's the steel base plate with the Hawley 4-barrel carburetor underneath it. Again, that's an aftermarket carb. That's okay though. The intake is the original dual plane iron piece, a good high flow unit. The heads are the 906 heads, which are good stuff, about as good as it gets in a Chrysler big block cylinder head. We come around to this side and we'll see some American Racing torque thrust wheels. And back to those brakes, look how there's a small amount of space between the drum and the hoop. These are the 11 by 3 inch super heavy duty wheels, as it were, on Roadrunners, also used in police cars. Now, while GTOs and SS 396s gave you a 9.5 inch drum brake, Roadrunners had 11 by 3s up front, 11 by 2.5s in the back, super duper brakes. Inside, this one has bucket seats, but an additional $4.60 was paid for the C21 center cushion. So basically it has the sport of buckets, but the function of a bench, kind of a nice touch. A nicely refreshed interior. These look to be perhaps legendary interiors. Panels, all crisp and new. And again, this stuff's reproduction and that's fine. The original stuff, wears out over time. Now this does have the standard speedometer or the dash with 120 mile-an-hour speedometer. The air grabber, carb air handle underneath the dash is present and accounted for. The cable functions just fine. This is a column shifted torque flight automatic, and the 4-speed and the torque flight were equal money. They were either one, take it as you please. Now the column shifter, frankly, not so sexy as a console mounted piece, but with that said, the split bench up front probably speaks to the fact that whoever bought this new maybe had a family or a girlfriend or whatever it is and wanted to sit 3 across on the front. So the column automatic's not that uncommon. It's okay by me. At the back again, we see the 15-inch torque thrust and that big 11-inch drum in the back right there, minimal space. That's what you want. Between them is an 8 3/4 rear axle, plenty up to the job of handling this 383. In fact, the 8 3/4 is ready to take on a Hemi with an automatic, so nothing wrong with that. And you got to love around the back here. In 1969, the color edition of the Roadrunner, with his racing helmet, of course, Warner Brothers 7 Arts right there. We know that Chrysler paid, I think it was $100,000, something like that, to Warner Brothers for the right to use the Roadrunner. And they used this all the way up to 1980 on Volare Roadrunners. But this is one of the real ones, 1969. Inside the trunk, nice. Original trunk mat in place, correctly painted inner areas. And just a nice example of the second year of the Roadrunner, the mighty Beeper. This body style was used for 3 years, 68, 69, and 70. And again, peak year production with over 80,000, 1969 right here. And keep in mind that High Octane Classics does accept trades, late models, customs, other collector cars, and they do deliver cars to your driveway, your place of work, wherever you might like. And they can be financed with as little as 10% down. So that's the story of this 1969 Plymouth Roadrunner two-door hardtop. Numbers matching, by the way, engine and transmission. Day 2 wheels on it, but just a nice example of the mighty Plymouth Roadrunner. Check it out on the High Octane Classics website.